Are you interested in hearing about real estate in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts that has sold between 1.2 and 1.5 million? Shrewsbury has so much to offer. It's a great town. It's close to Worcester, not too far from Boston. It has outstanding schools and it's beautiful. So in this video, we're going to take a dive into what's been selling for this price point of 1.2 to 1.5 million. I think it's helpful for you to get an idea of what homes look like that have actually closed at this price. And I'll share with you my thoughts on the different kinds of construction. And as a realtor, what I see as the benefits and maybe some drawbacks of each house or location. So let's dive in. I'm Jane. I'm a realtor based in Wellesley, and my channel is all about helping families relocate to Greater Boston to find their just right home. So please subscribe, as each week I'm putting out a new video. And if you're thinking about moving, please reach out, as I'd be delighted to help you. So let's cover the basics about Shrewsbury, Mass. First of all, it has terrific schools, as I mentioned, with an A+ rating on niche.com. I have helped several buyers in the last year relocate to that area, and they chose it because it was convenient to, a couple of them were working at the colleges located in Worcester, and two of them were also looking for a community that was a little bit more diverse, and Shrewsbury met that need for those families as well. So where is Shrewsbury exactly? Let's take a look at the map. It's about just under an hour from Boston without any traffic. So it would be the rare person that would commute all the way from Shrewsbury to Boston on a daily basis. I do know people who do the reverse commute. I have a friend who's a doc that works at UMass Medical Center that lives in my hometown of Wellesley. And the president of my alma mater, Holy Cross, located in Worcester, the president, it currently lives in Weston, Massachusetts. So it's not a bad ride for the reverse commute. To give you some context of location, Shrewsbury is pretty much directly west of Wellesley, then Natick, then Framingham, and it's about 16 miles east of Worcester. So surrounding towns include Worcester proper, Northborough, Westborough, Grafton, and also Millbury. There are over 12 colleges in the Worcester area. And in the downtown, there's, again, my favorite, Holy Cross, WPI, which is Worcester Polytech, which is a wonderful school. And Clark University is also in downtown Worcester. Now, what has really been amazing in the last 25 years is Worcester's really been transformed by the impact of some of these grads staying in the area. So around Clark University, there's been a lot of development of new apartments, condos, and some WPI alums and the college itself have invested locally. So we're finally seeing Worcester catch on as kind of a tech center, which is really cool because for many years, Worcester had fits and starts of trying to reimagine itself as something new, but I think it's going to stick this time. And of course, the Red Sox farm team also moved from Rhode Island to Worcester. So they built a stadium, so that impacted that area as well. So in general, there's more to like about Worcester, and Shrewsbury has the benefit of the fabulous schools, larger lots, and I'll show you the really beautiful lake Quinsigamond, which runs through Shrewsbury, and convenient to both Worcester and also somewhat convenient to the western suburbs of Boston and Boston proper. Okay, the first house we're going to talk about is 6 Birch Brush Rd, which is located in North Shrewsbury. It was on the market for 1,125 and closed for 1,260. It's on just under a half acre of land. And one of the things that's cool about Shrewsbury is that you see more developments. So there's a lot of construction in the 90s, so there's a fair amount of more developments, which we don't see a lot of in New England. I talk about how we don't see that in some of the older towns around Boston, but because there was more open tracts of land, developers were able to come in and build kind of a whole neighborhood of similar sized homes. As you will see too, from some of the towns that I cover, you get a lot more space for your money in Shrewsbury. This gorgeous house, as you can see, has a nice big elegant front, beautifully landscaped, 2-car garage. So this would easily be almost $3 million in Wellesley. And here we are, it closed at 1,260. So what I love about this one is the elegant foyer has a lot of detail and wainscoting on the staircase. Sometimes in the 90s, you'll see these big 2-story atriums in the or foyers, and it's kind of a waste of space upstairs. It's a waste of heat, which rises. And I like like that this actually has a ceiling that's a more modest height. So you gain space up top. It's a little cozier feeling, I think, too. Again, this is kind of a cool design with the skylights and the vaulted ceiling in part of this living room, but nice and open to the kitchen. Now, some of these things are a little bit dated. You know, this old square tile floor, the cabinets look probably original. So you could do some cosmetic updates, but of course, the space is here and the light is here, which is really nice. But again, the original build detail is really nice level of detail. This little extra molding in the dining room and wainscoting in the dining room as well. But again, these are really spacious homes. I would paint the cabinets, change the hardware, change the flooring. Let's go upstairs. There's a nice bedroom, plenty of room for the kids. So you can see why if you're coming from the Midwest, you tell me you want to spend 1.3, but you want 5,000 square feet. Based on your commute, I might suggest Shrewsbury. I do find that most of my buyers are very focused on getting into a community with really outstanding public schools. I feel like I say it a lot, but we're really fortunate in our area that we have public schools that are well-funded, supported by the towns who vote to keep them well-funded, and really outstanding and can compete with private schools. So just jumped ahead to the lower level, also known as the basement, which you can tell from the drop ceiling, and look at this space. So you have the bar TV over here, you have room to relax here, and then you still have room for an entire gym, punching bag, bike. So really great house. So that is 6 Birch Brush Rd in Shrewsbury. The next house we're going to look at was built in 2000 and is on over 2 acres of land. Again, 4,000 square feet. This is a little bit of a busier road. It's parallel to Route 140, which is kind of a well-traveled route that gets you north to Route 9. You have over 2 acres of land. So even though you're on a slightly busier road, it's set way back. So you have plenty of privacy, plenty of land behind. So you can see at this location, which sold for 1,260, you're now getting a 3-car garage. The early 2000s, it'll be interesting to see if we notice right away difference in construction style. Some newer things we see is like a darker stain to the floor. Now, of course, you can change the stain on your hardwood floors. You know, the darker contrasting railing and the painted spindles as opposed to natural. So this is when we saw the beginning of lots of white, white, white. This kitchen has also been updated with new backsplash countertops, the contrasting island. They probably painted those original cabinets. They might have been a natural wood tone. But again, you're seeing that vaulted ceiling with the little balcony. You don't see those anymore. I just had a buyer buy a beautiful house in Wellesley and got rid of them. But anyway, I love this elegant orientation of the great room with this arch, 2 arches above the French style slider out to this beautiful deck. This is really gorgeous and elegant. We definitely see that buyers respond to condition more and more. This one obviously shows better than the previous listing, but sold for the same price. That is a superior location, and this has more land and, you know, the 3-car garage, for example, and the more updates. They really took advantage of the environment by having these windows all around the dining area to the deck and in the rear. So I think this is, you would just feel like you're in your own little oasis. So our primary bedroom is really big. You can see like at the end of the bed, they have a room for this chair, big TV. This floor is more like a pre-finished hardwood floor. But this is a pretty spectacular bathroom. I'm definitely feeling like they did a lot of updates post 2000 and a great closet. I'm going to leave you with this one aerial view of the house so you can get a sense of how many trees there are around 400 Grafton Street. So again, that was on the market for 1,250, and it just went a shade over at 1,260. Had 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 2.25 acres of land, and let's see how many days it sat on the market. Oh, look at that, 2. So, no surprise, because it's July of 2024 and we're looking back at homes that have sold in the last 3 months. We're listed in March, April, May, and closed up until mid-July. We have still experienced a super hot market despite higher interest rates. While the summer is a little bit calmer, there's still not a lot of inventory for buyers. And so you can see how these homes in great condition that are priced appropriately are moving quickly with strong offers. The next house we're going to look at is kind of fun. It's a custom-built waterfront property on Lake Quinsigamond, built in 2002. This was on for 1,275 and sold just over at 1,285. It was on the market for 7 days before it received an offer. Lake Quinsigamond is a beautiful lake. It almost is like a large river if you're looking at it. Dear to my heart because my kids rowed in college, that in high school as well. We spent a lot of time on Lake Quinsigamond going to rowing regattas. It has great water, as they say. So like Northeast regionals were hosted there for high school multiple times. And there was a lot of regional events there for the college kids too. So really kind of a cool house. As you can see, it's a really big lake. This house was custom built. So that's going to mean that it's probably is going to have a little bit of an unusual floor plan. The orientation, you want to maximize the view in the rear. So the front is mostly garage door and a little bit of porch, but look at what you get in the back with your own dock. This is just gorgeous. You know, if you're coming from the Midwest, you know, I did spend a year living in Michigan. I didn't understand just how many lakes there could be with homes all around them because we just don't have that many. But it's a great lifestyle, you know, especially here. We get 4 seasons of fun out of the water. You hopefully get skating in the winter, boating and kayaking in the summer and the fall. And it always is nice to have a water view. So again, this era home typically has these soaring ceilings, which we're seeing here in the office, with these nice cherry cabinets, which are beautiful built-ins and obviously would stay behind. Lots of cabinetry built in. Now, interestingly, this kitchen, we're seeing more natural woods now in 2024. So this kitchen is almost having a resurgence of style. So I might change the countertops to a more updated color, but people are liking these natural colors, and of course, the commercial grade stainless appliances are always a big seller. And we see that there's gas. This kitchen's not huge compared to some of those other homes we saw, but they're clearly building, you know, with the view in mind and maybe the lot limitations as well of being on the water. Another fireplace and views out of the bedroom windows. So sign me up. Move me out. I would love to live in this house and look at the lake every morning. It's a very classic 24-year-old bathroom. This has not been updated at all. Buyers tend to want everything cosmetically updated, and we find more and more that people are less willing to do the work to get them there. And it's really about a lack of time, knowledge, and just the money too, because renovating right now has gotten, you know, renovations are expensive. Everything's got materials, labor. So if people find things that are in move-in condition, they move fast. The last home we're going to look at is a little bit higher price point, also in North Shrewsbury. So in general, it's a little bit more of a kind of a prestigious address to say you're from North Shrewsbury. So this was on the market for 1,425. And interestingly, sold under asking at 1,375. So it's about 4,000 square feet, built in 99, and 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, an acre of land just about. So let's take a look. This is kind of a classic 90s 2-story foyer. Now, I might have popped in some staged photos to give you an idea of the furniture. Not everyone does that. We have a virtual staging now. It's very cool. So not a huge kitchen, lots of wood tones. Again, the market seems to have said, we don't feel like changing every cosmetic surface to a more contemporary look. And maybe that's why it didn't sell. That's my guess at asking. But there's also a very nice pool, which we're going to get to at the end. A nice primary bath, separate shower, separate from the tub, I mean. And let's take a look at this gorgeous yard. So they have this beautiful pool. Now in New England, before the pandemic, we used to say that pools had a neutral effect on value, meaning that as many people who wanted a pool, there were just as many people who didn't want a pool. The season's relatively short here. And of course, maintenance costs can be significant. But then in the pandemic, everybody wanted a pool. I think pools, I would almost go 60-40 now. I think pools are more desirable. And this is beautiful. What a nicely landscaped yard. In Massachusetts, your pool has to be fenced entirely. It's a state law. Anyway, so that was kind of a little bit of a different look for that home, which sold for 1,375. So there's my snapshot of what's happening in the market in Shrewsbury. So if you're thinking about moving to Shrewsbury or the surrounding towns, please reach out as I'd love to help you. And I have lots of videos on various parts of Metro West. So check them out and let me know if you have any questions or any comments. I will see you in the next video. And thanks as always for watching.